Namaste. I'm going to read Volume 3, Book 5, Chapter 6, Different Types of Sins in the Shiva Puran. Tatsat. Sanat Kumara said, removal of a Brahmin's money, transgressor of the rules of inheritance, too much of arrogance, great fury, false prestige, ingratitude, debauchery, miserliness, malice towards good men, illicit approach to another man's wife, defiling the virgins of good men, pariviti, the elder brother who is not married but who has allowed the younger brother to marry, parivitir, the younger brother who marries, thus giving daughters to these two or allowing them to officiate in sacrifices, the spoliation of flowers and trees around the temple of Shiva, even the slightest injury to the people in the hermitage, the theft of cattle, grain, wealth, etc. of the family of servants, theft of base metals, food grains, and milch cattle, dirtying of waters, selling of sacrificial parks and ponds, wives and children, pilgrimages and fasts, sacred rites, and investiture with sacred thread, dependence on dowry, servitude to women, non-protection of the womenfolk, carrying on affairs with women through fraudulent means, non-return of time barred, debts, taking grain as interest, acceptance of monetary gift from a despicable person, deceitful life through merchandise, using bullock constantly as a vehicle through wild jungles, uchatana, exercising, and abhichara, black magic. Acceptance of grains as gifts, working as a physician, engagement in sacred rites to satisfy the palate or the sexual urge, teaching only the text of the Vedas, not the meaning, eschewing of Brahma and other vratas and adoption of their modes and customs, learning the spurious holy law, engagement in hair-splitting arguments, censuring gods, fire god, preceptors, and virtuous men openly, and the kings and his officers indirectly, those who have ceased to perform sacrifices to the gods and the mains, those who have abandoned their duties and rights, persons of evil conduct, atheists, sinners, and habitual liars. He who indulges in sexual intercourse during new moon and full moon days, during daytime, or in the vaginal passages of animals, or through other passages, or emits semen in water, or cohabits with a woman in her monthly course. Those who shatter the hopes of obtaining wives, sons, and friends, those who speak displeasing words, ruthless persons, and those who break agreements, those who damage or demolish lakes, wells, or water causeway, he who serves different kinds of food among persons sitting in the same row. The foregoing are some of the minor sins. Men or women guilty of the same are minor sinners. I shall mention some others also. Listen, those who cause injury to cows, Brahmins, virgins, master, friends or ascetics are sure to go to hell. Those who undergo agony due to another man's wife, those who have an eye on another man's wealth, those who steal that, and those who make use of false weights, those who cause misery to Brahmins by means of kicks and blows, the Brahmins who serve Sudra women and drink wine due to passion, those who are cruel and engaged in sinful acts, those who are fond of violence, and those who perform dana, yajna, and other rites as a professional for livelihood. Those who evacuate their bowels in cowpens, streets, near water and fire, shades of trees, mountains, parks, and temples. Those who are engaged in drinking bouts in hermitages and palaces. Those who are in search of weak points in others. Those who are in association with others. Those who block roads by means of bamboos, bricks, logs of wood, horns or poles, and those who violate the boundaries of others' fields. Those who make counterfeit documents, those who are engaged in fraudulent activities, those who indulge in fraud in dealing in food and clothing and in lawsuit, the maker, buyer, and seller of bows, weapons, and darts, he who is merciless to servants, and he who ill-treats animals, he who listens slowly to the words of liars, who is traitor to masters, friends, and treacherous, a cheat, a fickle-minded, and a rogue, those who leave their wives, sons, friends, children, the aged, lean and sick persons, servants, guests, and kinsmen, hungry but take food themselves. He who sumptuously feeds himself on delicacies but does not give anything to Brahmins shall be known as Vritapaka, a man of fruitless cooking. He is despised by those who propound Brahman. Those who voluntarily decide to perform certain rites with self-imposed checks and restraints but leave them off because they have not conquered their sense organs, those who renounce but again come back to householder's life, breakers of the idols of Shiva, cruel persons who beat cows and bulls, suppress them, do not feed them properly and let them alone weak and feeble, those who ill-treat bullocks with weighty burden, those who make them draw heavily laden carts, those who do not let them off free for leisure, those who do not rear cows and bullocks properly, let them starve, ill-treat them with heavy burdens, do not treat their wounds and bruises, are called the killers of cows. They are sure to fall into hell. The most sinful persons who castrate bulls by squeezing out their scrotum, and those who make heifers draw carts are great sinners, sure to fall into hell. Those fools who do not take pity on guests, helpless persons, independent, casual guests, children, old men, emaciated and sick persons, overwhelmed by hunger, thirst, and weariness, and desirous of food, surely goes to hell. The assets of a man take leave of him at the house itself, as the kinsmen do at the cremation ground, but his merits and sins follow wherever he goes. The base Brahmin who rears goats, sheep, and buffaloes, and who marries a Sudra woman, and who lives on fishing, etc., is a Sudra. If he follows the occupation of a Kshatriya, he is sure to go to hell. Sculptors, blacksmiths, physicians, goldsmiths, and royal pretenders, and deceitful servants are sure to go to hell. The king who imposes improper taxes out of his own will and takes undue delight in punishment is tortured in hell. The king whose subjects are harassed in the following way is tortured in hell. The way they are harassed may be due to bribery, favoritism of the officer, and robbery. There is no doubt that the Brahmins who take monetary gifts from an unjust king fall into terrible hells. The king who confiscates the properties of Brahmins unjustly and passes them on to others certainly falls into hell. Sin accrues to the fierce robbers and to those cohabiting with other men's wives. It accrues to the king who indulges in amorous sports with others' women. If the king does not discriminate between a non-thief and a thief and kills the wrong person, he is sure to fall in hell. If people steal even a small quantity of these things, they will fall into hell: ghee, oil, food and drink, honey, flesh, wine, toddy, jaggery, sugarcane, vegetables, milk, curds, roots, fruits, grass, firewood, leaves, flowers, medicine, shoes, umbrella, cart, seat, water pot, copper, tin, lead, weapon, conch, and aquatic products, medicinal concoctions, bamboo, household articles. Those who steal coarse or fine clothes out of greed fall into hell. There are other similar things, the stealing of which, even in small quantities, causes fall into hell. There is no doubt that stealing another man's possession, whatever it is, be it of the size of mustard seed, causes fall into hell. By these sins, the man after his death is born as a serpent for suffering the tortures. At the behest of Yama, the sinners go to the world of Yama in their bodies, which are dragged by Yama's terrible emissaries and are subjected to grief. Yama is the chastiser of all gods, human beings, and animals engaged in evil practices. He chastises them by inflicting diverse terrible punishments. For those who regularly observe restraints and disciplined life, but who err slightly due to oversight, the preceptor is the chastiser through expiatory rites and not Yama, as explained by learned men. The king is the chastiser for outrages of others, wives and thieves and unjust persons, but for those who are hidden, Yama is the chastiser. Hence one should perform expiatory rites for the commission of sins. If the sin is not consumed, it will not perish even in hundreds of crores of kalpas. If the action is by oneself or through one's incitement or instigation, or if it is applauded by one later, physically, mentally, or verbally, he reaps the fruit of the sin. Footnotes. 229. For the comparison of the principal and subsidiary sins as mentioned in the previous and present chapters, see Manu chapter 11. The treatment of the subject in Shiva Puran is more elaborate. Here in today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Hari Om Tat Sat.